There's an interesting story here in Florida regarding math textbooks and critical race theory, or at least Ron DeSantis, our governor's interpretation of critical race theory, of guest reviewers, and of this test called the IAT, which measures implicit bias. So I thought I'd dig into it. About 40% of the books that they looked at were rejected for reasons including asking elementary school kids to think about their emotional state as they were doing hard math problems, and for some people's interpretation of critical race theory. It just came out, by the way, that the person who found the one in question was a guest reviewer, not a mathematician or an educator. She's an aeronautical engineer, I guess, and she doesn't feel it's important to have a master's degree or a certification to review math books. What she did find was her interpretation of critical race theory, saying that racism is embedded in American history is considered critical race theory. That is not what critical race theory is. It's significantly more complex and involved than just any casual mention of racism being embedded in American history. By the way, who would disagree with the statement racism is embedded in American history? What person, regardless of any political or moral alignment, would disagree with that statement? Anyhow, so before I show you the example in question, let me show you what the IAT is, or the Implicit Association Test. This test has been around for at least 20 years. I took it back in grad school. I took several of them. Understand, it's not just about race. There's a number of different IATs that you can take. You can just Google IAT. It's hosted by the Harvard website here. Personally, I have taken the Arab Muslim IAT and the weight IAT to see if essentially I had implicit or unconscious bias against people who are obese. I've taken the skin tone one that looks at colorism. Further down on this list is the IAT measures your reaction time. You push one key if something good comes up, a good word. You push the other key if something bad comes up. And then they also teach you that white, you push the one key, and black, you push the other key. And they measure your reaction time. Then they reverse white and black and see if it takes you longer to associate blackness with goodness than whiteness with goodness. And it turns out the vast majority of people take longer to associate blackness with goodness than whiteness with goodness. Therefore, it measures implicit, unconscious bias. So here's the math question, so powerful it got it banned from Florida textbooks. It's just asking to use this polynomial to look at the relationship between the race AIT and people's political alignment. Personally, I'll be using this in my psych classes and teaching the controversy.